test will the Rams be on Sunday?
Oh, tough. I mean, obviously one of the better teams in the NFL, offensively and defensively. Really good players, good scheme, good coaches. Division opponent, those are always the toughest. And, so we got our hands full. But we're excited for this opportunity and, going out there try to go get a win.
How did it feel to just get Marv back out there last week?
Oh, it was good. Felt his energy from the start. I definitely thought you could tell that he missed playing, just getting back out there and getting into the flow of it. First play fell to the ground. I kind of was like, oh, let me see what's about to happen. But it was good. He was flying around, made a lot of plays for us.
Mario was back out there on the practice field today. As a pass-blocking running back, just how valuable is that for a quarterback, and how much more do you appreciate when you have a guy like that that's willing to step up for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think those are the unsung blockers in the league. And when they pick up a block, it's usually something good happening. Because of that. And and the other guys that had to fill that role did a really good job as well. But it was good to have him back out there today, and look forward to his progression this week.
The key fourth downs that you guys have gone through the last 2 weeks, it's gone the other way. What do you think are some things that you guys can do going forward to maybe get them to convert there?
I think it's one, playing a little bit harder, and cleaning up a few minor details. We got the look that we wanted for the flip play, and it just didn't strain enough. And we I think the week before, just didn't make the throw. So it's just minor little things that you in those key clutch situations that you want to be able to make.
You said didn't strain enough?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Meaning like finish, I guess I would say is more the better word, I guess.
The 4th and 4, and then like the 3rd and 1, you had a chance to rip it. As a quarterback, do you like those play calls?
Oh yeah, I want the ball in my hand.
Trey McBride leads all tight ends in Pro Bowl voting right now. What is it about his game, or what's one aspect of his game that you appreciate or respect the most?
I think every week I find something new, that I admire about his game and him as a person. His ability to play through a bunch of BS. I want to say. He's not getting any calls. And not that you cry for calls, but and then I go back and I'm like, damn, he was even more open than I thought he was. And it's just stuff like that. And last week they're playing. The guy comes out of the huddle and he's like, man, he's running the seam, help me, like to the safety. And it just wasn't enough, It's just like stuff like that. You can't even put into words and you feel it when you're in the game, because it's like, yeah, Trey's just gonna make the play, and he wants it, His ability to just want the ball and to want to be successful and want to win, I remember my college coach always said, like, when you turn a film on, you want to make sure somebody can tell that you want to win, and I think that's very evident when you turn a film on and watch Trey.
Talk to Trey. We talked to a couple of the other playmakers from Mike, Marv, and they talk about that constant communication with those guys. You're texting them, you're FaceTiming them. Is that something you're consistently doing throughout the day, or is it just kind of a couple moments here and there? It seems like you're in constant communication.
I try to as least as I need to, but as most as I can, just because of I don't want to interrupt some other people's day. But I kind of just I don't even really care, to be honest with you. I just do it, and like I apologize. I always say like, hey, I'm sorry, but and then when it works out in the game, they're like, all right, I see why it happened. So
Is that something you learned from anybody in particular, or is that something you just
I think it started with just like being around some of the guys that I've been around Tom and been around Phillip and Andrew, just to seeing how much their communication outside of what the coach already said to the players, like how much that kind of helped fast track a lot of the stuff that was going on in the field. And then it always gave like a set starting point for the like how we thinking about a play. And it just every time I started to play, I kind of just picked up on that and just always, I hated to go into a game and be like, oh, I thought he was going to do this, or what if this guy does this? I always just like, hey, this is our starting point, and this is where we're going to start off of.
One of the guys said that you brought out something from like 5-8 years ago. Is that just because is it your recall, or is that something what comes up?
Because I'm old. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's probably a recall, and you kind of see a lot of the same things a lot, and you've been able to lean back on some of your experiences throughout the league and throughout your career, and be able to find plays for guys that kind of paint the picture for them.
Jacoby, sitting where the record is, 3-9, playoffs eliminated, right, all that stuff. How's the team doing? How are you doing? How's the team doing in terms of motivation and pressing forward?
Yeah, I think I would say the team's in a good spot mentally. You know, I've been on teams that have, I mean, honestly, that have been eliminated before too around this time, and you know, I've seen it be a little bit different. I think the guys showed up today with the work. I think JG had a great message to us in the team meeting as far as, you know, getting us going and you know, and keeping that motivation there. You know, but I always like to tell myself, like, if you got to motivate me to go play hard for my teammates, I shouldn't be doing it, you know. And I think the good thing about it, we got a lot of those guys like that in that locker room. And you know, I tell, like Drew kind of said it, the same thing. It's just like I'm enjoying coming to work. You know, it's hard to be in this league. You know, I mean, losses happen, but you know, it's just how you react to it and just keep going forward.
What about the way this team is rallying around and a JG and this staff? You know, sometimes when a team's losing, they can tend to point fingers, fans too as well. Just what makes, I guess, JG and this staff different that you guys are?
Yeah, I never understood why people pay money to come to games to do that, but they spend their money how they want. But you know, I just think it speaks to the level of respect that those guys, that our coaches have from the players. You know, I think that speaks to the guys that's in the locker room as far as the respect that they have for each other. You know, I think that's the two of the most important things. You got to want to play for who you play for, and you got to want to play with who you play with. You know, and I think that's very evident that the level of respect around this team and around our coaches. You know, I mean, as far as much as us, we want to win for them too. You know, they're in the fire with us too, and they're not pointing the finger and saying this person did this and this person did that. It's how can I get better? You know, and you respect that week in and week out. You know, in this tough situation that we're in, and I think they really mean it. You know, and I know a lot of players that are taking the blame on themselves. They really mean that they find ways to get better no matter their success that they think they're having. But you know, and you know, I have a lot of respect for those guys.
Describe the accountability in the locker room as like high.
Oh, for sure. It's top tier. You know, I have yet to see somebody say, damn, this person did this wrong and it effed me up. You know, it's always like, how can I do this better? How can I do this better? You know, come back after Drew and he's like, anything I can do better for you after the drive? Like, I'm like, man, we just scored. You know what I mean? Like, well, I don't know. You tell me. You know, so stuff like that where it's like, you know, that, and I know he honestly means it, you know, and you know, and so like those are the guys you want to play for.
As the leader of this team now, has your message changed now that the playoffs are not an option?
I think I don't think it changes. I think you double down on what your the principles and like the morals of who you are as a player, but also who you're trying to be as a team. You know, because this is right now is when the culture is getting built. You know, whether we like it or not. You know, and moving forward, it's like this is where you see like where the cracks are at. You know, where you see like who actually means what they're saying, and you know, and I think like my message to the guys is like, you know, like let's do it for each other. You know, like show how much you love the player next to you. You know, love coming to work and love playing for the coach that's coaching. You know what I mean? Like that is going to be that's our games right there. Like that's the true test of not only character but like of, you know, a man. You know, I think like when times are tough, like what are you gonna do? You can easily stay home. You know, it's probably won't get paid, but you can stay home.